Hey everybody, welcome to Fishing Stories with Christopher Sears. I'm Chris. Nice to meet you guys virtually. Sure hope this experience at the Denver Cybersecurity Summit has been good for you. It's a little bit different, but I and some of my colleagues are going to be over at the virtual booth here for Cofense. So if you have any questions following this quick presentation, pop on over. Let's give it a shot and have a chat. A lot of the things you're going to see today we do have available. Of course, I can show you a multitude more of these really great fishing examples that you guys can use, and just pop on over and we'll give it a chat. Here's my background. Feel free to stalk me on LinkedIn all you want. I always like meeting colleagues within the industry. I do cover the North Central region. I'm based out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. So I guess that's probably part of the reason why I was asked to tell some fishing stories, right? Got Lake Itasca in my backyard, and land of 10,000 lakes. It's actually like 43,041, but hey, who's counting? We'll just let that part go. Hey, let's set the foundation here of what a typical phishing incident response timeline looks like. Again, this is things that we've all gone through as security professionals for decades, right? Obviously, you get it received. Hopefully, somebody detects it or something's compromised, and from there, you have to go through this entire process. Mandiant's telling us it's an average of 78 days. A lot of damage can be done in that time. You guys probably all remember a lot of the other reports about APTs and where a lot of them start. You can look at any one of the you know, bigger figureheads of the security world out on YouTube, and they'll tell you no matter what you do, no matter what defenses you have, defenses in depth and what have you. I think it was John Strand out of Black Hills Information Security. They're out of South Dakota. He, he always puts his head down and says, "I always get you with phishing. I always get them with phishing." Well, here at Cofense, we kind of see things a little bit differently. At least we'd like to, show you how we see it. Obviously, same thing. Fish is received. Similar process there. Incident occurs. Same types of steps have to be taken. I would argue if you do these 4 steps here, you're going to be so far ahead of the curve, you're going to be able to actually change it over to being something like this, where you're getting your users trained up, they understand what a fish is, you're hitting them more with those phishing incidents more than once a quarter as per compliance or whatever your regulations require. You're actually giving them an easier way to report those fishes instead of having to remember, well, is it phishing at company.com? Is it abuse or is it abuse box? Make it easier for them. Give them a button. Let them click the button. And when they click the button, it'll come to you and it'll allow you to have a faster response. You get back to them and say, hey, end user, thank you so much for this. We'll look into it. Don't know if it's good or bad yet, but we're going to dig in. We'll get it figured out. Thanks for being a good corporate citizen and handing it off to us. And then, of course, the goal is to be able to neutralize threats. We got technology that does that for you or works with your team to be able to accomplish that. You can also get that as a service too. SaaS service. The last part that I think has become the most recent part here is you have to take everything that you learn from these incidents and proactively defend. You need to set up connections with your SIMs, your SOARs, your tips. You need to be able to see how you can take the knowledge from the experiences you're having, kick them into the rest of your systems, back to that layered approach. Come on over to the virtual booth. I can literally spend all day talking about these types of activities because that's what my background has always been. So let's take a look at what our amateur fishing professionals are doing. These are bad guys. Okay, these are all nefarious actors. They can be anywhere from nation states trying to get some intellectual property to nowadays mostly people just trying to make some money. They're making a lot of money, and I'll show you one here a little bit later on, where I think they were averaging our estimates, anyways, from our Cofense fishing labs and Cofense fishing defense center. They're estimating upwards of $22,000 a month. It's not bad money for probably just a half a dozen guys or gals working together and trying to make it work. Still, pretty sketchy stuff. This one here, this one doesn't really convince me. This one here with proper training, this one's easy to fight off. Look, no logo there. What's this? I mean, come on. That's actually, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name. But, .de, it's over in Germany. Your users, average users, would be able to easily catch this. Okay. Does the IRS actually send emails? And what's with this whole happy sharing thing? I it just doesn't pass, the gut test, right? So I would argue that that's probably amateur hour. Let's look at what happens when you turn up the heat a little bit, right? Okay, pandemic, we know it's out there. Various governments are actually putting out that we're going to be giving out money, and we've already seen that here in the US. Guess what? Threat actors just mimic what they hear out in the media. They they looked for how your employees are being conditioned in the general public and what they're expecting to see. You know, hey, there's going to be a huge asteroid show tonight. Bunch of phishing emails would go out talking about see the best views of the asteroid or the star show tonight. Whatever is current in the media, that's what they're going to try to latch on to and leverage. And obviously, with the pandemic, they have to a massive extent. I believe in the first 3 weeks, some statistics came out. There were, about 66,000 websites created associated with pandemic, COVID, coronavirus. Pick any one of the names. It's a massive amount of work to be developed in 3 weeks, but they knew it would pay off. And here's two great examples. You can guess very well what happens when you try to click on that PDF. Is it a real PDF? No, of course not. It's going to be some malware, some viruses, some zero-day stuff, because they've been tucking that away for quite a while. Now, the other side of that is going to be obviously FUD, right? FUD still works. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It still works. Here, let's see what it says there. You're going to be, oh man, it's punishable with up to $1,000, okay, dollars in this case, but they're using the pandemic to say, hey, look, you got to fill out this form. The only thing here that looks a little bit sketchy to your average user, again, not necessarily somebody that's, going through maybe once or twice a month phishing experiences, is .xyz. So that one's a little bit different, right? But the vast majority of folks are going to click on this. And by the way, all these examples that I'm showing you are examples that you can get on our threathq.com. That's where our Cofense intelligence resides at. Again, come over to the booth. I'll show you exactly what we do and how we do it. And you can get all sorts of details like this. Part of the goal of us sharing all these with folks is because we want you to put your phishing scenarios up a level, up a couple of levels, because we want you to be able to bring these to your users, to your employees, and help elevate your overall security status. Because we all know that the vast majority of APTs start with phishing, credential phishing, email phishing, malware phishing. Let's look at another one. Now, this one here, this is where they really start to get sophisticated, okay? So what we're looking at here is a link, and of course we've redacted some of it. That's why it's blanked out there. We don't need to air all the dirty laundry out there for folks. But I get a lot of emails from various HR utilities, right? Here at Cofense, we focus on phishing. We have a great HR department, but we outsource a lot of our other HR activities. Not uncommon with the vast majority of corporations. Um, they change from time to time, and that lapse is something that they hooked onto. This will pass, this one here, passed pretty much every flavor of modern segs that are out there, safe sites, and a majority of other ones too, because it is a completely legitimate SharePoint site. Now it's a my.sharepoint.com/personal. It's a personal SharePoint site, but still a legitimate SharePoint site. The rest of it looks pretty legitimate too. It's got access tokens. It's got all the things that people would look for. Here's the interesting thing about this one. If I recall correctly, this one was only up for about 72 hours. So, active campaign, end of the week maybe. Got to get this thing sent out. I'm sorry, beginning of the week is on a Monday. So, got to get this thing done. They might have a follow-up email as a reminder because, hey, it's HR reminding you. This one here, if I recall correctly from the write-up that we did over there at Threat HQ, this one could have very easily pulled in 80 to 90 folks in a relatively small company. In a larger company, you could have hundreds of folks actually responding to this. Some of our average customer size is around 9 to 12,000 people, and you would find people clicking on this if they do not have a robust phishing education center. So again, the sophistication is going up. SharePoint is legit. It's going to get through your segs. Let's go up one more level here. So this one looks relatively simple, right? There's a particular name there. That name was pulled out through, some sort of online stalking or multiple emails going back and forth. It does say external up there. That's good. Emails marked that. But what you're finding here is, again, it all got through modern segs. When you get to this, and this is the redacted part here, is a known colleague. In other words, somebody else's email is already compromised. And of course, when you click review document, it sends you over to a site that looks completely legitimate. Well, this box site here is actually a spoofed site, but not completely spoofed. It's actually leveraging the box logo, all of the background, pretty much the entire HTML or CSS code in the back end. The only thing that's different are the links to O365 Gmail, and I don't know if they bothered with Hotmail, Yahoo, or AOL, but the links that matter are modified, and those are going to go to the spoofer's actual bad website. And of course, nobody's going to be able to log into anything. All they want users to do is to click on, 365. Oh yeah, that's my work email. Let me just enter in my username and password for my work email. Credentials are no longer yours. They now belong to the attackers. And of course, they're going to leverage your account if you don't have anything, or your employee's account. Of course, secure professionals, we would never do anything like that. They're going to leverage that account to either dig around and see if you have anything of interest, or they're going to go ahead and use your account to send the exact same type of thing off to another colleague. I've only got a couple more minutes here, but let me run you through one more that's interesting. Now, this one here is romantic ransoming. I made up the word, but hope it resonates. This, we've redacted the destination, of course, but this email is interesting because it did actually come into a personal email account on a corporate laptop off of a VPN. Happens every day. We're working from home these days. That's what the attack groups know that's happening. They click on it, they open it up, they don't know what the difference is, good, bad, or otherwise. Now, if you were a well-trained user, they would know that having 3 extensions on there is not probably legit. The moment that happens, well, now they're part of the Ativan, and I could be mispronouncing that, but they're now part of the Avedon. This is why you guys need to go listen to our Fish Friday podcast over at cofense.com/podcast. I can't remember how to pronounce all of these attack groups. Right here, the user clicks it, it's ransomware. They got a nice little site. They're going to send you and they're going to teach you how to download the Tor browser. You're going to actually have to show that you are now infected, and you're going to have to go pay the $600. It used to be 800. Recently, they lowered it down to 600 because they found out that that was the market rate, because it is a cash money business. So look, it's been 15 minutes already, you guys. I hope this has been a great event for you. I hope to see you over at the visitor booth. Come on over. Let's talk about many more examples of this, the way that Cofense solutions are solving problems for a lot of our customers. And hope you guys enjoy the event. Hopefully the next spring too, we can see you guys out there in person. You guys have a good one, and take care.